Hi everybody, welcome to HiBar Ranch. So I haven't done very many videos in a while because we've been really busy at the farm. This time of year, not only we just had a litter of Australian Shepherd puppies, but this is our lambing and kidding season. So we raise Navajo Churro Sheep for their wool, and we also raise Nigerian dwarf dairy goats. So we have a bunch of babies in the barn right now. We have some lambs. We have 10 kids that have been born in the last week. I got a little bit of footage for you. And I just wanted to do a little video to see the animals. I know Chloe, for her company ReWild Co, people like to see where their products originate from. So the dairy goat's milk we use for organic soap making at the farm. We also will be doing a bunch of wool products, fiber arts, and be selling Navajo Churro wool this year. We also raise a lot of the medicinals here at the farm, the beeswax because we have bees, and we do a lot with eco dyeing. So the black walnut, the indigo, the safflower, the marigold, etc. are all things that we grow here at the farm that then get brought to bear into the products that we make and sell through ReWild Company. So welcome to HiBar Ranch in spring. It's not quite spring, but for us it's spring, and enjoy the cute footage of the babies here at the farm. A little bit more about the animals we raise and why. We're very interested in preserving the legacy of heritage breeds. And the Navajo Churro Sheep, the story is quite interesting about them. They're an endangered breed. And they originated from the Spanish, who brought the Spanish when they went in through Mexico into New Mexico and Santa Fe area, etc. They brought the sheep with them in the 1600s, and the Navajo Churro ended up adopting the Navajo Churro Sheep, thus how they got their name, the Churro Spanish. So when you think about the Navajo Churro, or the Navajo Indians and the blankets, the beautiful blankets that they are known for in their culture, they're using the Navajo Churro wool for their art. So you'll see the Navajo Churro Sheep, one of the interesting things about them is they can have 4 horns. So I have one ram that actually has 4 horns. And it's a genetic predisposition that comes from the Jacob sheep, the ancient line of Jacob, the tribe of Israel sheep. So in ancient Israel art, you'll also see 4 horns on the sheep. So that comes from the Jacob sheep that are where the churro, and thus the Navajo Churro, came out of. So we do have one ram with 4 horns. So the Navajo Churro sheep are quite an interesting breed because they're used for their wool. They have 2 layers. They have a thick outer layer, which is for more durable outdoor goods such as rugs and jackets. And then they have a fine, soft inner layer of their wool as well. They're also used for meat, and they're also used for dairy. If you know much about cheese, the Spanish cheeses often use sheep milk. So it's considered a tri-sheep because of the wool, the meat, and the dairy component of their utilization. But due to a massive reduction in the Navajo Churro flock, what happened was Kit Carson came through and slaughtered all of the Navajo Indians' sheep. And for numerous reasons, part of it was a persecution of the Native American tribes throughout the United States at the time, but specifically the Navajo. Secondarily, we tend to like government to step in and do a one-size-fits-all solution. So they felt that one perfect standard size of sheep was best for the sheep market to grow and scale for commercialization. So they basically slaughtered a bunch of different types of sheep and then moved into a standard. Now we know obviously now that diversification is a wonderful thing. But most of the Navajo Churro sheep were slaughtered in that process of those numerous events that took place in the same window of time. They then proceeded, in fact, a woman who worked for National Public Broadcasting did a documentary in the 90s on the Navajo Indians, and then also this really interesting story about the Navajo Churro sheep and how that became the center of the Navajo culture, really these gorgeous Navajo blankets. Well, she got so into the sheep, and her documentary was a really big part of bringing the Navajo Churro back. She also became a breeder in the early 90s, and that's where we got our flock from. And you can go see some of her products at Lana Dura, Lanadura. And she's based out of Taos / Santa Fe, New Mexico now. So they basically, in the 70s, found Navajo Churro sheep basically in the canyons, not many, around Taos, and they started to rebreed and bring back the Navajo Churro population. So now they say there's approximately only 6,000 or so Navajo Churro sheep in the world, so they're endangered. So we breed them. We breed exclusively the Navajo Churro because the heritage and the tradition means so much to us. And here at HiBar Ranch, you know, our website's called HiBar Creations because we like to create beautiful things by hand, the old-fashioned way, and preserve that heritage and the tradition of the past. While we're not Navajo Indian, my husband's family does have Native American blood that we're learning more about as we go back into our own ancestry here in East Tennessee across Cherokee, several other tribes, and then also Melungeon, which is kind of an interesting subject in and of itself. It's a kind of a mixed race of people that kind of fell off the map of history other than the local lore here up in the Appalachian Mountains. Not really sure where they originated from, not really sure what they're all a mix of, but a mix of a lot of wonderful things from the very ancient past. So all of this stuff is very, very important to us. Our daughter's company, ReWild Company, is really designed to utilize all of these wonderful, you know, natural fibers, natural dyes, using the old techniques to create beautiful products and beautiful craftsmanship for, you know, Generation Z and actually anybody who is interested in becoming educated and re-immersed in the old ways of doing things and preserving our heritage across all of our different walks of life. We'll be doing classes here at HiBar Ranch through ReWild Company, probably starting this summer as we get the facility set up where you can tour the farm, meet the animals, and begin to learn how to do some of these things that we create by hand yourself. So that's just a little bit more about the Navajo Churro today. That's Patches, a mama churro, saying hi. On another session, I'll talk about our Nigerian dwarf goats and also some of the other dairy goats breeds we raise here, Alpine and Nubian. And then we also raise meat goats, which are we raise boar. So welcome to HiBar Ranch. If you're interested in visiting our daughter's company, it's www.ReWildCompany. So it's re-wild-company.com. Thank you very much.